not even close to
Tomorrow.
Edward James Olmos was in a fantastic movie, from what I hear.
Yes, he was. He was the voice of El Diablo in the Beverly Hills Chihuahua franchise, which a great piece of cinema. If you ever need something to kill in evening.
Yeah, if you're weird like Emily and have a Chihuahua at home that you are obsessed over.
I love her. She's
literally an hour ago when I got here. You said I would be okay if this dog wasn't around anymore.
No,
that
I
was
did
a bold.
not.
That was a bold-faced lie.
I did not say that. I said she's annoying. Okay, so Priscilla, her name's Priscilla. She only weighs 17 pounds, but whenever somebody who's not Tony or I, or sometimes when it even is Tony or myself, walk anywhere near her, she loses her goddamn mind. Oh.
Explicit tagged.
I'm seeing a theme with you on the show.
Do you want to just edit that out? I'll just say that sentence again. She loses her mind when people come near her. And so I told Jared, as Priscilla was barking at Jared, she's really annoying.
And now she's laying right next to him.
And now
on the
she's
couch,
curled up on
literally
like next to him.
Yeah.
Best friends.
I don't see what the big deal is.
She is such a sweet.
Chihuahuas are weird and
they're very territorial. But
they make great movies.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Chihuahua. But this Chihuahua, she's not full Chihuahua, so I feel like she has some like better qualities than like a regular Chihuahua.
She's not quite as yappy. I mean, she's loud, but she's not like as incessantly yappy. But
she
no.
doesn't tremble as much as the Chihuahuas.
But yes, Edward James almost did not play a Chihuahua in Beverly Hills Chihuahua. He voiced El Diablo, a big Doberman.
And I thought, what a missed opportunity to print a picture of El Diablo, take it to Edward James Olmos and say, will you please sign a picture of what I consider to be the greatest role you've ever played, and then just slap down the picture from Beverly Hills Chihuahua in front of him and watch hilarity ensue.
And then he would hire you as his full-time handler. You would travel across the world.
I would, yep.
Hand in hand with Edward James.
Which, sidebar about Edward James Olmos, because I doubt he'll ever listen to this.
I really hope he does listen to it.
If he does, yeah.
I'm going to tag him in it. I'll be like,
I hope he does
the whole
too.
opening is just about Edward James Olmos.
I hope he does too. I did some research, and he is a PIMP OG because his wife is 37 years old and is hot. So let all that marinate for everybody for a second.
Marinating?
He's 68.
I don't know what she looks like. Look her up.
What I want to know, yes, while you're looking that up, you posted a picture of you and Edward James almost on Facebook, getting you hugging things, and one of your friends was like, when did he get so old? I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, he's been making movies and TV shows since like for like 30, 40 years now. Like, he's been old. It's just Hollywood does a good job of covering up. I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because like when he was playing Adama on Battlestar Galactica, he's an older gentleman, and that's okay. It's just maybe didn't he? That's his wife?
Yes, that is his wife.
There's no
pimp.
way. Give me that.
Yes, no, look, listen.
There's no way that's his wife.
Her name is Lamari Nadal, and she's 37 years old, and her spouse is Edward James Olmos. They got married in 2002.
Third wife.
It's his third wife.
For the record.
She said she has performed several different roles in Battlestar Galactica. So she was in Battlestar Galactica.
That's what? Background roles?
I don't know.
Well, his son, Brody, was in Battlestar Galactica.
It's not Brody, it's just Bodhi.
Bodhi, as a hot dog. Actually, a fairly sizable part.
Yeah,
speaking
huge character.
And everything.
Hot dog, yeah.
I sense
I don't think I'm that far into the show yet.
I wish that there were a couple celebrities there that could have brought.
Right?
Yeah, there's a couple.
She's all right.
Yeah, there's a couple celebrities that could have brought.
There's a higher chance my wife will listen to this podcast than Edward James Olmos.
She's beautiful.
Wait, you were talking about hot dog? You were talking about...
I was just saying there's a couple celebrities that could have brought their acting offspring to the show.
Because
John Delancey also has a son, Keegan, who played in Star Trek with him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an interesting common bond there. I did notice Friday that Edward James Olmos and John Delancey had their signing booths set up next to each other, and they had essentially taken down the curtain in between the two of them, and they were seemed very buddy-buddy with each other. I didn't know if they knew each other from a previous work or not.
But shocking to me.
Yeah, I don't know if they've done anything in the past. I don't know. I got the... Okay, we're going to get real.
Jump into it.
We're going to get real.
Yep.
Those that listen to this podcast know that we're honest, And John Delancey, it felt like he was just done with the convention circuit.
He, in his panel, was rude. He was rude. And it was very frustrating. I mean, right? Am I wrong? He was...
No. I think that from our perspective, it was rude. I think maybe from his perspective, I don't know, maybe...
I don't think
expected more.
I think he didn't like the questions, and he kept making a comment that really, really rubbed me the wrong way. And he made it several times during that panel. When somebody would ask a question, he would say, "You don't know half of what I do." And he just kept saying that when somebody would ask him about My Little Pony or Star Trek or whatever. He would just say, "Well, you don't know half of what I do." And I just wanted to take the microphone and be like, okay, but that's great, and it's really cool that you do all these things, but these people are here for the things that they do know you do. Like, and that, it was just it just really rubbed me the wrong way. And if I were a fan, and I'm going to be honest, I'm really not, because I don't really know much about him. I didn't watch Star Trek, and I don't watch My Little Pony. So I didn't really know much about him, so I'm not a fan. But had I been like a hardcore fan and went to that panel, he would have lost me as a fan that day. It was frustrating.
Just to play devil's advocate and to give the other side, I'm not saying that you're incorrect, because you're right. In terms of all the celebrities that were there, his panel was very... it felt different.
Mm-hmm.
And, he wanted to lead it himself, which was totally fine, So I think I ended up on stage just as more of a gatekeeper role. And you ended up somewhere else where there's sound
there was issues with lights.
Yeah,
so we were both supposed to be up there, and
right.
I was just like, I'm going to go find out what's going on with the lights.
I could have not been up there, and it would have been fine for him. I mean, he grabbed his microphone and stood in front of the table and I thought he was very ready to connect with his fans.
Mm-hmm.
But then, he seemed again, I don't know if it was the situation of the convention, if he was a little dissatisfied with the YouTube guys versus their popularity, like we were talking about in a previous podcast. But yeah, he seemed like he was just not into it.
Yeah,
and I get it. From an actor standpoint, I'm sure. He's done all this stuff, and he's done stage and film and things like that. And, he's most remembered for playing a very iconic part in a very iconic sci-fi series.
Right.
And that's what people are going to want to talk to him about. Like, I'm sure it's challenging answering the same questions over and over about this character that is a very small percentage of your career in the grand scheme of things. But that's what it is. If you're going to come to a convention and do a panel, you probably have to be prepared to roll with those punches.
Yeah.
And he, and you could tell when he got a question he didn't want to answer, he would just be like, next question, next question, next question.
Yeah. Really short answer. I was, for all intents and purposes, I was okay with the...
Sorry, one of our dogs has farted.
That's wonderful.
You can't really tell it on the podcast, but it is bad
really
in
bad.
here. So...
So, okay.
We got one on the couch stretching out, looking at us like we're idiots. One is on the floor, not moving. Probably the one that threw out the silent but deadlies here. So,
I was actually fine with him being short with the questions that he just didn't want to answer, and I don't know if that's just. We've been to a lot of conventions, and I maybe I'm just kind of numb to that. Like you get those certain celebrities that are just like, they just don't want to talk about that kind of stuff because they've been asked it 30 million times. That didn't bother me. There was one moment where I officially was like, okay, I don't like Delancey anymore. And it was a question from a young man who was very obviously handicapped, mentally handicapped.
Mm-hmm.
And physically, you could tell he was handicapped, but he also had difficulties speaking, kind of figuring out what he wanted to say. He probably saw somebody that he really, really loved, and anyway, he asked this question, and I forget what the exact question was, but it was something about My Little Ponies.
It was about an upcoming episode.
Was he coming back for more
Discord,
of that? Yeah. And I thought, good question.
Fair question.
You go with it. And Delancey kind of smiled and he chuckled and he answered it by saying, I think, yes. And then the young man asked, could you give us any details about it? And then Delancey answered with a joke. And the joke itself was a funny joke. It was an intelligent joke. if you followed along with it and you knew what he was talking about, the audience laughed. My problem with that was that you did a highly intellectual joke for somebody that was handicapped like that.
And that you knew.
And that you could tell the joke was said in my eyes, because I was sitting right next to Emily had the microphone and she was handing off the microphone to the next person. I was sitting up next to my wife, and as soon as he said that, I mean, I chuckled, and then I looked right at him, and he was looking around like, I don't get it. I don't know what's happening. And my heart broke. I could not, like, I wanted to get up right there and be like, dude, come on.
Really?
You know, this is a huge fan. And, I don't know. That was the moment for me. I could deal with the whole next question. I'm done with this. I'm done with that. But when you cross that line, for me at least, and I don't know if it's because of my personal connections with anything like that, or I don't know. It was just, that was the moment for me where I disconnected, and I was like, okay, sure. I was a fan, kind of like what you were saying. You didn't really know his work. I was a big fan of his. I knew that he was a big theater guy. But for him to do that, and then the young man walking back around, and he probably went out and said hi to him in his booth, and he honestly probably couldn't remember him from anybody else that said something. But that was the moment for me. That was the moment where I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was rough. The whole thing, I think, was just, it was just so strange. He was just, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it could be best described to someone who wasn't there as all the other celebrity panels that we were in. We were not in all of them, obviously, but all the other celebrity panels that we were a part of seemed very seemed on the pleasure side of things. His seemed more business.
Yeah.
It was an obligation. That's how I felt, that he was just like, oh, I have to go answer these dumb questions. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like his
felt like an obligation. The rest of them felt like it was an embracement.
Yeah,
they
of course,
wanted to be there.
That's
they
what
wanted
I meant,
to.
the business versus
I felt like if somebody had come to him a few minutes before and said, you know, you don't really have to do this if you don't want to, he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And that's really unfortunate, because then why are you there?
But then you get people like Troy Baker, who was phenomenal, did a great job interacting back and forth.
Yeah.
And then Tony got to speak with and moderate Sam Jones' panel, who's coming up here in just a second. We got to not really sit, but we stood up and had a conversation with him. But he was great. I mean, there wasn't a lot of people in there, but you and he, kind of like in the Casper Van Dien panel, got to have more of a conversation, just talking back and forth. And I don't know, that was cool.
It was cool. And once again, I was, like I'd mentioned on a previous podcast, fortunately, I knew about Sam Jones. You know, I mean, I didn't have to watch Flash Gordon frantically the week before the convention to figure out who the heck this guy was. Like, I knew he was Flash. I know he's not done a lot since then. I know that he was in Ted and Ted 2 because Seth MacFarlane is a fan of the Flash Gordon movies. Like, these things I know already. I did do a little bit of background research on him to kind of build on that. But yeah, I mean, he seemed like a very genuinely nice guy. Like, he didn't have to be here for this. In fact, he was probably the celebrity that put in the most hours on the convention for PopCon, because he was actually here Thursday night. His obligations began because Thursday night at the Artcraft Theater down in Franklin, a historic, very, very cool theater, they had a showing of Flash with Sam Jones there. He did a Q&A before then. He had a little dinner with the VIPs and then showed the movie. So
That's cool.
it was a very cool way to kind of kick the weekend off, kind of have that experience with the fans. And if you go on the Indy PopCon Facebook page, you'll see a lot of those pictures from that, and it looked like it was a packed house. Everybody was digging it. It was just he just seemed like he was one of those guys that kind of fully embraced his role in the pop culture phenomenon. Like this, like Flash is his thing, and that's, and you know, he's doing it, you know, and he's rolling with it, and he seemed to enjoy answering the questions from the people. You know, he answered my questions, and what you're about to hear, the listeners, what you guys are about to hear is not the panel. We got a chance to chat with him again Sunday morning. We swung by his booth, talked to him, very accommodating. He was happy to just kind of chat with us, and you'll hear it when we talk to him. Just a very very laid back, easygoing kind of guy. So.
Yeah. He's cool.
One of my favorite moments of his over the weekend
Yeah.
was on Sunday because Edward James Olmos was there Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
And Edward James Olmos had a double booth.
Yeah.
He and Troy Baker kind of had a double wide celebrity booth. And Sam Jones was in the single booth. And that son of a gun, as soon as he saw Edward James was gone, he packed up his stuff. He moved over to Edward James's booth and set everything back up. That cracked me up more. I don't know why it cracked me up.
Take this spot.
Yeah. This is my spot now.
Good for, and again, good for him. And you know what? To be fair, his backdrop, PopCon provides the little banners that say the name and the picture and what they've been in. Sam said, "Forget that noise." He brought this massive banner with him, like floor to ceiling, like 8-foot banner, which was so cool, and it looked great in that double booth. And we got a cool picture standing with him with the backdrop, the big Flash Gordon. I don't even think it had his name on it. I think it just said Flash Gordon with the picture of him as Flash. And
Which is awesome. He's embracing it. He knows that that's what the fans are here for because I was Flash Gordon.
Yep.
And that's what I feel like that's all about.
Yeah.
Yep. We were also supposed to, it didn't unfortunately happen, we were supposed to talk to Lloyd Kaufman. Unfortunately, he was not able to make it, but Indy PopCon did a great job filling his spot and brought somebody out that I was not too familiar with.
Same.
You were not too familiar with, but Ciara Hanna, who was the yellow Power Ranger from the Megaforce and Super Megaforce, which was like the 20th anniversary incarnation of Power Rangers. We got to record with her up on the podcast stage, and it was good. It was fun.
Yeah, it really was.
It was our first recording of the entire weekend. So I think she was trying to still figure out bearings. We were figuring out, all right, how are we going to do this? And it was a good chat. We just kind of kept things loosey goosey, and it was fun though. So she's the second recording that you're going to hear here in just a little bit. So since this is our final PopCon podcast, yeah,
Popcast.
Trademark both of those. Anything you guys want to kind of stick in there? Anything you want to kind of leave for the fine folks of the entire Earth?
The entire Earth.
Well,
wow, that's a lot of pressure.
Hey, what was it? Ciara Hanna. There was somebody from was it Korea?
Yes.
Somebody from Korea. Somebody from
Korea.
Ciara Hanna.
Philippines.
Yes.
They were in the podcast
They all
audience
walked.
on the podcast stage.
They walked. Wow.
Yeah, they walked on water.
In the
Non-believer.
oceans.
Jeebus.
Anyway, to the people of Earth. No, I would say give PopCon a go next year for sure. If you didn't make it this year or the year
Hopefully, we will be back.
before, yes, absolutely, I would love it. Definitely give it a go. It's. I would say it's a more, especially last year. This year was a little more intense, but it's more of a laid back convention than your Gen Cons and your Comic Cons. And there's just so many different things. It's like, if you like anything nerdy or pop culture, you can probably find it at PopCon. So definitely give it a go. Give it a shot. You'll really like it. Just thank you to the people of PopCon for everything that they did that weekend. And it was a blast being a part of it. And I hope that Geek Stuff Off the Cuff can make an appearance again next year. Or the Amalgam Podcast Network as a whole. Did I say that weird?
You did.
Did I have a stutter a little bit?
It wasn't a stutter. You just kind of
I
held out the
So I hung out on the odd too much.
Yeah. Amalgam Podcast Network.
That is a stutter. That's
Is it a stutter?
Yeah. If you hold on to a certain letter too long, it's a speech impediment.
Wow.
So thank you for making fun of me.
I wasn't making fun of you.
No, I'm just
I was
kidding.
laughing at your face.
I'm just being weird. No, yes, definitely. Thank you to the people of PopCon. It was amazing. Give it a go next year if you haven't gone, and if you have gone, awesome. If you didn't like it, STFU. Mic drop officially.
Just put the emphasis on the FU there.
Yeah.
Stop making fun of the way I speak. I'm done with this.
STFU.
What about you, Tony? Anything you want to wrap things up with?
Yeah, this was a great experience, and again, you and I are likely a little biased because we got an experience that few fans, because we are fans, that few fans get. Yeah, I mean, we're all fans, obviously, but yeah, it was an excellent convention experience for me. I do hope that we'll have the opportunity to do it again next year, and from all accounts so far, it sounds like we will get the chance to hopefully be back and have some more fun next year. And if we do, I know we've already talked about we've got some bigger and better plans to do and have some more fun with people and kind of continue what we started this year. But the big thing I think is to come back and check it out if you were here this year. If you weren't here this year, come check it out for the first time next year, because I know they're going to take what they learned this year, expand upon it, improve upon it. They've already have an excellent product, so taking something great and making it better is always a good thing. And last but not least, thank you to all, not only the owners. I know there's a dozen owners that kind of work tirelessly to help this stuff come to fruition, but there's a slew of volunteers, people like us, who kind of gave our entire weekend to this and probably got less than we got in return in terms of a sense of satisfaction, or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, there are a ton of people there that helped behind the scenes, the unsung heroes, helping work the lines and work booths and make sure that this and that was the way it's supposed to be. The volunteers were awesome, and I think it speaks volumes to something that was bigger than expected, that it still went overall very well. I think that was because there was a good group running the show behind the scenes. So
I agree. And to kind of pigtail off of what Emily was saying, the Indy PopCon's very different than the other conventions that come to town. Then we don't need to mention names. I think everybody knows those larger conventions that just try to bring in as much as possible, and their focus is quantity and not necessarily quality.
Right.
And I agree with Emily that Indy PopCon is quality focused. That's why it was a last episode or the episode before that, Tony, you were mentioning that the vendor hall was very different. You had those couple booths that had the overload of pop vinyls and whatnot, but the rest of it was all real artists that were there to draw stuff, and real writers that wanted to get their stuff out there, and local vendors that were selling X, Y, and Z product. The big thing is I hope they keep that as their guidance and their center. They start veering too much on the, no, we can get anybody and everybody to come in and have 15 booths of selling pirated DVDs or whatever else. They'll lose that
magic.
Yeah, as corny as it sounds, I mean, it really is. It's that small town convention feel that has amazing quality that goes along with it. So with this being our final Indy PopCon 2015 podcast, well done to everybody that was a part of it. Well done to the ladies that were in the booth next to us at Level Up Studios, who unfortunately had their entire shipment of stuff that they were going to sell not arrive, so they just had to sit there, and they had like one of each of their shirts that they had to take orders for.
They just had their demos.
But they hung it out. They hung out, and they made it throughout the entire convention. They were tore down in like 5 minutes and gone. They gave me the picture, though. They gave me a little picture that they drew that was thrown away by Emily Schaab.
I asked.
Harsh.
You threw it away. You ripped it in half, and then you stomped on it, and then you fed it to your dog. That's what happened.
And then he said, F you. It's well, this is your house.
That's
Recording in your house.
That's true.
House,
that is true. So up next, you're going to hear, let's see here, Sam Jones first.
Yep.
And then we're going to wrap it up with Ciara Hanna. And then next week, who knows? We'll have something fun for everybody.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
We always do.
Wow.
I just talk about sad things.
Well, yeah. Well, that's a new podcast that's going to be started just
things.
for Emily.
Sad things off the cuff.
Yeah.
Pichu.
I'm just going to.
The Sad Schaab podcast.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for making me do my Mbot impersonation on stage. It was horrible.
What was it? Off the
air.
Off the air, Chick McGee.
Chick McGee.
And Jess.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah, I listened to it.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
What are you smirking about?
Nothing.
No, why are you smirking?
Nothing.
All right.
Everything was fine.
No, everything was not fine. There's no way. Come on.
Tune in next time for Insincere Half-Lies with Jared, Tony, and Emily.
Sam Jones, Ciara Hanna.
See ya.
Bye.
Choo.
Let me see if I can do this right. Geek stuff off the cuff.
And I love it.
Geek stuff off the
That was
cuff.
perfect. It's lovely.
Perfect. All right. Well, we are here. It's Sunday of PopCon, the final day of Sad Day, but we are here with one of the men of men's himself, Sam Jones, Mr. Flash Gordon himself. How are you?
Hey, fantastic.
Thank
you for having me.
Of course.
Did you just say sad day? It's the last day? Is that
Sad
what-
day, last day, sad day. You know, we
sad.
as much as we want it to go on indefinitely. I mean, maybe it's not sad for everybody, but it's been a fun
We never
weekend.
want you to leave, Sam. We
Yes.
want you to stay here. We have a room for you set up.
You're stuck in
Good.
Indiana.
And you know I have roots here. You know that, right?
Yes, that's right, because you were born in Chicago.
Well, born in Chicago, and my grandpa Sam Jones.
Yeah.
who I was named after. He built a house here, well over 100 plus years ago. I'm sorry, outside of Anderson, Indiana.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, my dad was raised until he was about 13 and a half, and it was tough times back then. Meaning, Grandpa Sam turned to my dad, Joe Jones, and said, "Son, you're 13 and a half. It's time for you to leave now and go get a job." I'm serious.
I believe it,
He went
100%.
to the Wyoming coal mines
Wow.
and worked in the coal mines till he was about 20 years old.
Oh man.
Yeah, but he had a car, I think, by the time he was 14 and a half, seriously. Paid for.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome.
but
Different
yeah,
time.
that's my, and of course I have a lot of cousins in Indianapolis and Anderson, Indiana, Joneses.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a little side note here. Now let me know if this is a rabbit trail, but it's not.
Yeah.
My mother was a Jones, different family, and married a Jones. So there you go.
Really?
Wow.
A West
Joneses.
Virginia Jones
How about that?
married a
Made the legal
Anderson, Indiana
process
Jones.
very easy.
Yes, that's
Didn't
right.
have to switch anything over.
Yeah, no
there's
names
a-
changes or anything. You have
mean,
to
there's
change
really-
Social Security number, nothing.
Well, but it is problematic because every time you fill out an application, they say, "What is your mom's maiden name?" When I put Jones down, they reject it, send it back, and say, "No." I said my mom's maiden name is Jones.
They just assume you're making a mistake, but
Yes.
you're like, no, really. There are just a few Joneses in the world, so it's okay.
Just a few.
Oh my goodness! So how has everything been with the fans? Have the fans been loving you this week and having a good
Great
time?
reaction. Yeah, really wonderful. And,
love it.
and quite a few now because Ted 2 opened on Friday.
Yep.
So the fans that are starting to pour in here have seen it, and they obviously came up to the table and told me that the audience reaction is really fantastic.
That's cool.
Awesome.
People are screaming and crying, not for the wrong reasons, by the way, but they said they're really enjoying it.
Very cool. I can't wait to go out. We've been here all weekend. I can't wait to go out and check it out because I love the first
Good.
Ted. It was a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's fun to throw back to because like we were chatting at the panel, Seth MacFarlane obviously has that love for the original Flash Gordon movie, and you can feel that on the
Yeah.
screen in
Oh, yeah.
Ted, which is very so cool. So
Yeah, I mean that's what he told me, right? When I told you about the phone call,
Right, yeah.
that I received from him.
yes.
And after he was done with his presentation to me, and my reply was, "Now who are you again?"
Is that different in your industry, in your world? Just having somebody call you like that, how did it feel to you? Like, was it?
Of course it felt wonderful. I mean, it's just amazing. You never know. I mean, go figure. We made this movie 36 years ago,
Right.
and once you complete a project, you have no idea. You have some idea.
Sure.
You have wishful thinking. You pray it's going to be a success. You have no idea that as the years go on, that this becomes iconic for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And who was to say back then that this 8-year-old Seth MacFarlane or this other 9-year-old Matt Riley from Fox Studios saw it at that age? It had such an influence and impact on them
Right.
that they ended up, they knew they wanted to become creative, and they
Sure.
became decision makers in the industry. And now they're calling me. It's wonderful.
You were
amazing.
telling us a little yesterday about Matt Riley and Fox and their
Yes.
plans for Flash. Can you kind of
Yes.
elaborate on that for
Well, no, he acquired the screenplay rights.
Mm-hmm.
He represents Fox, obviously, and hired a team, has a producer John Davis on it, has his writing staff, and it is in development. As you know, when there's a brand like Flash Gordon or Popeye or whatever, Batman, over the years, other reputable producers, Stephen Summers bought the screenplay rights.
Yep.
Whatever reason, did not pick up the option to make the movie. Then it was in the hands of Neil Moritz, the Fast and Furious.
Sure.
Did not pick up the option. So it was left available again, and Matt came in. But again, as you said, he has that special touch.
Right.
There's something personal there because it impacted his life.
Right.
Right.
So I don't believe it's just of course it's all about business and revenue, but now he's bringing his personal touch into it. Which so I believe that this will come to fruition.
Good.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it already.
Yeah.
Do you
for sure.
do you feel that you would ever do a superhero movie as like a pure superhero movie? Because there's a lot
As
of
opposed to an impure Flash Gordon. Come on, Jared. Where are we going with this?
Yeah,
I'm going with the fact that Flash Gordon has no powers. Flash Gordon is like the normal average Joe who is
Athleticism, wit, yeah.
But
Gullible too.
But on the flip side, you have superheroes, superheroes, and over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, those have become a very, very popular revenue source for movie companies.
Yeah.
If they ever approached you, would you be open to doing something like that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have any characters that you would like to play?
I really love representing, Flash Gordon. I was telling you guys yesterday that I really believe and it's not some weird imaginative thing. I mean, you've heard athletes say, I'm not a role model. You've heard other actors say, I'm not a role model. Well, we are role models.
Sure.
But, I mean, I do tell people when they see Ted or Ted 2, I said, I'm acting. Now, the only reason why Seth MacFarlane and Universal Pictures and Mark Wahlberg, the only reason why they are a success is because they're not smoking pot.
Right.
And they're not doing drugs. Okay? I want to make that perfectly clear.
Yeah.
But that was a bit of a rabbit trail. But anyway, back to the question. As far as any other soup, I really like coming in and as the character and being the advocate for innocence being abused or whatever. Come in and save the person. And of course, nowadays this definitions of what good is and bad is has evolved into the opposite at times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to maintain, good is good. You can't change it, and bad is bad.
Yeah.
I always love it when there's a movie out where there's this witch and then there's this witch, and they both kind of represent evil, but one is the better witch. Wait a minute. How's that?
Sure.
Is that like being a little bit pregnant? Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? No, I'm just a little bit pregnant. What does that mean? See, to me, there's really no gray area.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah.
anyway, that's...
No,
No,
that makes
that's
perfect
great.
sense.
I think you'd make a great Wildcat. If anybody that's listening knows Wildcat, he's from the Justice Society of America, and he's exactly what you're talking about.
Is that Alex Ross? Oh,
He's done some work
Right,
on
of
Justice
course,
Society.
yes.
Yeah. Wildcat is a boxer. He was a boxer. Didn't have a whole bunch of superpowers, but he was a boxer, and he had that moral grounding of this is right, that is wrong, and
Good,
he actually he led a lot of the younger members of the Justice Society into the group, and that would just be an amazing for you to pop in and be like your voice. It's a perfect fit
Let's
for
do
me.
it. Jared, come on.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll make
I got my
it.
checkbook right here. Let's just go ahead and get it started.
We're going
We'll
to shoot
film
it
it
back,
right here.
back alley
Yeah,
there.
right back there.
On our shaky cams, and it'll be great. So
Filmed on an iPhone.
Filmed on an iPhone.
very good. Well, I don't want to take up too more of your time. You've got some adoring fans here, but we sincerely appreciate
All
you
right,
taking
man.
the time to chat with us here.
Yeah, thank you so
you
much.
guys.
Yeah, it was absolutely a pleasure.
All right,
So
buddy. Tony, okay, Emily, thank you. All
Thank
right,
you very much,
Jared,
sir.
yes, you funny man, you.
recording here live on the podcasting stage. This is Geek Stuff Off the Cuff. We're doing a live recording here the Friday of PopCon. This is a super exciting time. The crowds are growing. Jared's here with me. We're going to chat for a little while. We have a special... Go ahead.
I like how I was after the mention of the crowds.
There's crowds. There are carpets. There's a food court. And there's also my co-host.
Yay!
So, yeah. We have a special guest here with us, you guys. If anybody knows of a little show called The Power Rangers... Yeah, let's see the head pop up on the Power Rangers. We got a Power Ranger here with us. You guys, put your hands together for the yellow Power Rangers. It's Ciara Hanna here on the stage with us. Ciara, thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you.
That was a big entrance for Ciara.
Well, yeah. What do you think? I'm going to give her a small entrance? Hey, guys, Ciara's here with us, and we're just hanging out.
Yo.
So it's cool. Yeah, no, we're excited to have you here. Is this your first time to Indianapolis?
It is. This is my third time on this side of the United States, and this is all in this year. So
This side. Anything?
Sorry, I'm from California. I only know the West Coast.
What's the dividing line for you? Is it the Mississippi River for this side, or like from...
Anything over Texas, pretty much.
Okay, all right.
Like, wow, this is so different.
You have... What's different? I'm very intrigued by what's different between Indiana and California.
It's moist. It's very moist
It is
out
moist.
here. It's a bad word, but whatever. Humidity, which is moist. There's no beach.
Well,
there is a beach.
Yeah,
Indiana
where?
Beach.
See, this is how much I know about.
It's man-made, though, I'm sorry to say. So it's a fake beach.
Does California beaches have roller coasters that occasionally break?
Yes, Santa Monica.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's exactly the same thing.
Okay, well then, welcome home.
You guys have American Idol in California.
We do.
We had American Idol here yesterday.
Did you really?
It was
So
literally
they
right
doing
there on the
casting?
street. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were doing. They were doing the first round of casting there. So now, how many? This will be the true indicator of how much time you spent in the Heartland, which apparently sounds like zero. How many cows have you tipped lifetime?
I think if I count on my 0.
Okay, well there you go. So welcome to Indiana. You now have your post PopCon entertainment set up for you. After you're done tonight, you go find a field and.
But
See,
you
we
have
should
to do
do
it
it like I was a cow.
You have to do it dressed up as the Yellow Ranger, because that's the only way
Well,
you're going to
of
get away with
course.
it. Yeah,
Take that cow.
I would
more fun
videotape that in our
Be like
heartbeat.
like a mega cow. It'd have to be something very serious for the
Super
Power Rangers to
mega
get after
cow.
it.
Super
Yes.
mega cow.
Super-
Super mega cow tipping.
I like that. Has
Get
a
some
good ring to it.
cosplayers, and you guys can all just like run out there.
I like where this is going.
Sounds like a really great YouTube video.
Negative 13 hits. I'm very excited about
That's
that.
right. Ciara, tell us a little bit about your specific iteration of Power Rangers, because I know there's been many different forms out there. We want to hear a little bit about your show and your squad.
Yeah, so it's been on since 1993, since we're like the 20th anniversary, so it's been going on for like 22 years now.
Yeah.
So my season is a legendary season where I feel like we're cheating. We have such cool powers. We can turn into any ranger of the last 20 years.
Hey, that's convenient.
So it's very convenient. I can be Mighty Morphin. I can be in space. I can be RPM. I can be whatever power I need. I'm like, yo, give me a key. Cool. Let's do this. So yeah, that's pretty much my season. We're the legendary rangers of everything. So we had a lot of guest stars on our season of different rangers. So yeah.
Very cool.
Did you have a personal favorite that you weren't able to change into with a key and take it? Yeah.
No, we pretty much did everything. We even all turned into like Forever Red. We were all Red Rangers. Red Rangers. I've been every Yellow Ranger. I pretty much was everything. Yeah, except because it's been going on in Japan for like 40-something years or whatever. Probably there's a couple of Japanese seasons that we didn't turn into, but I don't really know too much about it. But
Did you have a personal favorite?
I love In Space because that was my favorite growing up. My favorite season.
Really?
I loved In Space. So yeah, turning into that was pretty cool. I just liked them. The Psycho Rangers were super awesome. I want to be Psycho, just like
Just
them.
sounds, putting Psycho in front of anything sounds like a good day.
Oh yeah.
Let's say I'm going to be Psycho.
I wake up every
employee.
morning and like, let's do this.
Yes.
Let's be a little Psycho.
Do you think you would purchase more food if they had like a Psycho food court?
Of course, yeah.
Get a Psycho piece of pizza?
Yeah.
I'd be Psycho fat.
I would head home in the Psycho taxi. I mean, yeah.
Psycho
everything
food
is
coma.
better.
Jump on the Psycho treadmill and work off that Psycho breadstick.
See if
then
this
head
sounds
home for
better.
a nice psycho
Everything
nap.
sounds better with Psycho before it. Absolutely. So this is the first time you've been out here to Indiana.
Yep.
Hopefully not the last time.
Hopefully not.
Is there anything that when you found out that you were coming out to Indy PopCon and you found out that you were coming to Indiana, was there anything that kind of jumped out at you that you were like, man, while I'm in Indiana, I need to do I
had no idea about anything in Indiana. So I literally was like tweeting people. I was like, what is out there? What do you do? I had no expectations. I just kind of came here. I'm kind of doing. I already went to Steak and Shake.
Oh yeah.
And that was probably on my list. And
I
the only thing on my
how you
list.
said that with a confusing look, like Steak and Shake.
I've heard so much about it. My best friend's from Tennessee, and she's like Steak and Shake, Steak and Shake.
Yeah, we were just there last night too. It's a winner.
I shaked it and I staked
There you
it.
go.
It was great.
That's a different restaurant, I think. I'm not sure if that's the same Steak and Shake
The
that I'm
Psycho
thinking.
Shake.
I've been calling
and
it
a
Steak
Psycho
and
Steak.
Bake. Yeah. Different.
So you went to Steak and Shake. Anything else kind of on your agenda? Are you pretty packed? Are you pretty like your schedule's full?
I have a pretty full schedule all weekend till I'm here till Monday. I leave Monday morning, but I don't know. Whatever people suggest to me, I'll just do it. You know, I'm gonna go. I've already walked around a little bit down here, and everything. The streets are so much wider. There's not as much traffic. I can run around, not get peed on. Like, it's great.
The positives abound here in Indiana.
The opposites of Los Angeles.
Lack of urine.
Debating,
good.
am I going to live in California or Indiana? Well, you don't get peed on in Indiana.
It's a deciding factor.
That's a check for the pro.
Yeah, I know. It's pros and cons.
It's good. No. So I'm assuming, though, even if this is your first time here with us, I'm assuming you are no stranger to the convention circuit. You've probably done a few of these.
I just started doing them this year.
Okay.
I did a few with all of my cast rangers last year, and this is my first year running solo. So I've done like only a few. I've done like 3 probably this year so far, but I'm definitely doing a lot more. I have one. I think I'm gonna maybe do Comic-Con San Diego next month, and then I have Ranger Stop November, Winter. I have so many like lined up, but I'm pretty much taking these as an adventure thing. Like, I want to explore different cities. Like, why else would I come to, no offense, Indianapolis?
No offense, but this sucks.
But, you know, like, I don't have family here. Like, there's no other reason to come here. So
Sure.
to do conventions and be able to explore random cities and explore different people and meet awesome people. And yeah, so this is pretty much, I'm using this as an excuse to explore the world.
Cool. Now, do you have a preference now that you've had a chance to do some shows on your own and some shows with the rest of your Power Ranger squad? Do you prefer to be with the bigger group? Do you prefer flying solo? Is there a...
It's totally different. I do like being with our group of people because we are a family. We get along very well, and you can feed off each other. Like, especially like if we had all of us up here right now, it'd be a party.
Yeah.
Like, we are pretty rowdy when we're all together.
Awesome.
There's 6 of us. We're like,
Staking
wow,
and
great.
shaking going on.
So much staking and shaking. It's great. So when I'm by myself, it's a little more chill, but I hold my own. It's kind of fun to represent the Power Rangers and kicking butt,
Nice.
one steak and shake at a time.
There you go.
Would you go back again? Like if they did something else,
Oh, for
Power
sure.
Rangers wise.
Yeah, I'd go back in a heartbeat. They film it in New Zealand, and that's pretty much a
So
big
that's
reason
that's
why I'd come back.
Big check in the pro column right there.
Oh, New Zealand's amazing. It's like Jurassic
awesome.
Park in Hawaii had a baby, and there came New Zealand.
Didn't they film Lord of the Rings there?
Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit,
Yeah.
King Kong. They filmed. They push that so much. You get off the plane. Even the what's it called? The safety video before.
Oh yeah.
It's The Hobbit. Like they
Is
have
it
a
for Air
full
New Zealand or whatnot?
Yeah.
They've got them all.
nicest airplane ever.
That's funny. Yeah.
But yeah, they really push that on you when you go to New Zealand. Like, we filmed the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit here. We get it.
Congratulations.
What about the Power Rangers?
I
Get
know.
them in
We
the
filmed
video.
here too.
Did you guys ever? You guys should have gotten together and done something. Like I think it would have been amazing to have Lord of the Rings as well as Power Rangers
Yeah.
in one scene together.
Precious. Like,
That's right. He would have been the ultimate villain, I would feel.
I'm getting really good at playing freaky villains. I've been doing a lot of horror films lately. So.
Really?
That was my next question: is
Yeah.
what else have we seen you, or what else can we look forward to seeing you in?
I'm not here really representing Power Rangers. I'm here with Asylum.
Okay.
So I did their movie Blood Lake.
Right.
So I pretty much did that. It's more campy, but I have a movie coming out called Pernicious. And I worked at a few other random horror stuff, but it's a fun genre. I really like it. I like being a little creepy and psycho. Sure. If that psycho word comes back into play.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Psycho is a theme here. No, that's that's kind of the home genre that I live in as a reviewer and author and things like that. It's very heavy into horror. I'm a big fan of zombies. So
zombies. Yes. I really want to do a zombie film. They're just so much fun to film.
Absolutely.
They're amazing.
Would you rather be a zombie or a non-zombie in a zombie flick?
I think I like to start out non-zombie and then somehow get attacked, die, come back to life as a zombie, and then take over from there.
And take over the zombie. She wants to be queen of the zombies by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Psycho zombie.
So pretty much both. I want to do both.
It's good to have goals.
Yeah. I just like being evil, too. Being evil is fun, even though I'm supposed to be good, Power Ranger, but I have a secret evil side to me.
When you got into acting, did you lean more towards the evil or those type of characters, or were you more good? I want to be that wholesome girl from Indiana type of a feel.
I'm naturally a very positive, upbeat kind of person, so I kind of fell into that category. I did a lot of comedy, a lot of like Nickelodeon stuff. But as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little more in tune with my creepy side, and I've really embraced that lately. But I'm not one like I need to do this, I need to do that kind of thing. I kind of, whatever comes my way, what's meant to be is meant to be, and it'll just come to me. So I'm just taking it as it comes, and horror's just been that thing lately. So
cool, nothing wrong with that. So.
Yeah, nothing wrong.
Now, since we're here at PopCon, do you have any, as you've been doing shows, any really cool fan interaction stories or any horror fan stories, if you will? Anything that you've had that worked out really well or maybe was not so cool?
I've had a few. There's so many of them. It's hard to on the spot.
You can be very vague and generic.
So many creepy people that I can't pick out the one.
Not really creepy, but there's some very dedicated fans.
Sure.
Yeah.
One guy at Myrtle Beach actually came up to me and he rewrote every episode we ever did and how he would do it. I'm like, whoa, that takes a lot of time and dedication. It's 42 episodes.
Yeah.
Full on, every detail of the episode. That was really cool.
But he wrote it in the Necronomicon, which really kind of freaked you out.
I'm trying to think of a freaky circumstance.
What are some of your favorite fan engagements? When you go to conventions, do you get excited about seeing others that are dressed up as the Yellow Ranger? Are you excited about? It could have nothing to do with Power Rangers, but is there a certain do you like seeing certain types of cosplay, certain types of costuming?
Well, I love all of it. I love seeing younger kids. They're so precious. They're super into things, but as soon as I try and talk to them, they get really, really shy. It's like seeing Santa Claus. All of a sudden, they don't want to talk to me, and I'm like, I'm cool, I promise. But that's probably my favorite part of the convention is just meeting with the little kids, because that's pretty much my core fan base is younger children. But I think that's my favorite because I've never been able to really meet with them or talk to them, especially when I used to work with Saban brands and go to conventions. We weren't really allowed to interact too much with people, which is another reason why I started doing conventions, so I can actually talk to people, have a conversation, their point of view. I get a lot of opinions and feedback of what they thought of our season, and you sucked.
Really? Somebody told you that you sucked?
Oh, I've heard.
You're the worst season of Power Rangers.
Oh, trust me.
I can't believe it.
I've heard that, yeah.
That's amazing.
Our season had a lot of pressure because we were the 20th anniversary.
Well, sure.
We had so much hype that it was automatically a letdown no matter what. We had no chance. Really, we had no chance.
But if you guys were able to call back and bring all the original Rangers and have all that fun, I don't see how people couldn't enjoy that.
But. Oh, it was a cool concept.
Yeah.
The concept was amazing. The thought process, everything was just so cool. We were so stoked about it. But
we're bringing back Hip Hop Keto.
What?
It was the Black Power Ranger from season 1. That's his fighting technique was Hip Hop Keto, wasn't it?
Walter.
Yeah, Walter.
He's a world champion salsa dancer now.
He's an amazing dancer. That? I would love to see him on Dancing
I go
with the
salsa
Stars.
dancing with him in LA. I love it.
That's a steak and shake dance.
Yeah, steak and shake. He's been steaking and shaking for years, you know?
He's an amazing dancer. If you ever get a chance to look him up on YouTube, he does some really, really, really cool things.
He does. Anyway. He does. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So, anyways, speaking of steak and shake, Yeah, so I get a lot of, not hate, but a lot of opinions of how our season wasn't what it was supposed to be. And a lot of it has to do with the producers, if you want to get technical, whatever. Producers, writing, all that. We had a lot of budget cuts and all that. It all has to do with industry stuff for why our season wasn't what it was supposed to be. But we did, as actors, we did it as well as we were allowed to do.
Sure, that's all you can do, right?
Just keep smiling.
There you go.
Have you been confronted, or has anybody came to you about the movie that they're getting ready to do?
Yeah, all the time. They're really, really pushing with press with that movie. They haven't even casted it. They haven't done anything.
Right.
Have they approached you at all about coming in and portraying yourself or your character?
I don't think they're going to. I think a lot of people are hoping they'll bring back actual Rangers. But I think what Lionsgate's doing I'm pretty sure what they're going to do is have a full-on brand new cast, because what the concept is going to supposedly be, they're doing the original Mighty Morphin, how it got to be. So how the Rangers became Rangers, pretty much. Like a before story. So I think they're just going to cast all new people. It'd be weird, I think, for kids or fans to see, oh, but wasn't she already a Yellow Ranger and now she's like Kimberly? Like, it doesn't even make sense to children or anything. It might be a little too confusing. I would love to be a part of it. Maybe I'll come as a guest star. I think Jason David Frank might be a part of it because he's a part of everything.
Right, of course, yes.
He's even a part of our season. He came in like, of course you're here.
Of course, yeah. He was with us earlier this year at what's that, Wizard World convention?
He wasn't able to make it.
That's
he was
right,
supposed to be there.
He wasn't there.
He had some obligations.
He's
I think,
amazing. He's the
great
ultimate
guy.
Ranger.
He's a very cool guy to follow on Instagram.
He is on it.
He is always on it. Especially
10
at conventions.
photos a day. I love it.
Yep, he's always about posting where he's at, what's going on, doing his karate classes. That's what you should do.
I should.
You should do like a dance class type
dance
thing.
karate class.
Yeah.
Like look fly while you're fighting, like
Psycho Ranger Dance Hour.
Psycho Rangers.
I like it.
I know what we're going to call this episode of the podcast now.
Oh, gee, I wonder.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
Steak and Shake, 'cause we're going to call it Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake, right? Steak and Shake. Yeah, I was reading about the new movie, and it sounds like you said, they're going to kind of just completely reboot it almost and go fresh
for
there.
Sure.
So.
They're pushing it so much. There's not even everyone's like, oh, it's already been casted. Like Liam Hemsworth is playing. Like no. No.
Liam
Miley
Hemsworth,
Cyrus, the
yes.
Pink Ranger. No.
Robert Downey Jr. as Zordon.
Oh.
You heard it here first. Not true at all. You heard it here first.
Oh man.
Do you have any preference on the Power Rangers mini movie that was released online that did not get?
Funny thing, I did. The guy who was our second AD on Blood Lake, he's actually the one who did that.
Okay.
Which I kind of sparked the idea because I guess when I went on Blood Lake, he's like, "Oh, you're a Power Ranger," and the thought process began. I don't want to take any credit, but I got the spark in there.
Yeah.
So they took it and I loved it. I'm like, this would actually be amazing if they actually did that.
It was intense. It was very intense. And I remember the firestorm after that of how then I think the entertainment company, Saban,
Yeah.
they were like, well, you got to take it down because this is unauthorized and it's way darker than we wanted it to be and everything. But yeah, I thought it was very cool.
It brought a lot of attention. For them, it was
absolutely.
good PR. Like, it was great attention towards the Power Ranger franchise. And I think a lot of fans who've known about Power Rangers since 1993, this is what they've been wanting so bad. Like, we're just dying for some gritty, real stuff. And that kind of gave what we wanted.
Yeah. Well, it gave the fans, I mean, if anything, it may have sparked a little more interest in the upcoming movie. Hopefully,
Yeah,
I mean,
it did.
like they say, no press is necessarily bad press. So
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing
You
wrong with
suck.
that.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
You suck, but I'm going to
Appreciate
go.
that.
Everybody's going to go check you out on YouTube now. So what are you going to do? So
This view's going up.
all right. So moving away from Power Rangers and moving away from Asylum for a moment, we can come back to Asylum. What do you do in your free time? I mean, there's conventions, there's working. What keeps Ciara entertained in her free time? Are you a movie buff, a game person? What do you do?
I have a new hobby.
Okay.
As of November, I'm into painting all of a sudden.
All right.
I love painting. It's something I'm like, you know what? I didn't even know I liked doing this. And I went to a paint night randomly, and I've just been obsessed. My house is filled with so many useless canvases of useless things. I'm like, this is useless. But I started an Etsy account to start like selling them to people because if they really want them. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm like, I just have so many. Like my room, my parents are starting to complain. Like, Ciara, you need to get rid of these. there's no space. But I've been really into painting. I've always been into poetry. I'm kind of artsy that way. I love hanging out with people. I love dancing around. I'm not professional at it, but I stake and shaking all the time. I love movies. Love TV shows. I'm a Netflix whore. Sorry.
Explicit tag. Great.
Explicit
we were doing so
tag
good.
The entire no.
My bad.
But you're a Netflix fan?
I love Netflix.
What have you watched on Netflix? Have you watched Daredevil?
No.
Have you watched Daredevil?
He asked everybody if we
I asked
watched
everybody if they watched Daredevil. You have not?
No.
Have you guys all watched Daredevil? You have, Beast Boy?
The Teen Titans have watched
Teen
Daredevil.
Titans are
I
all
think it's pretty
about
clear. The
Daredevil.
Titans have watched
everybody
Daredevil.
Everybody else is leaving because they're going to watch Daredevil right now.
Because I said the word.
Did you hear how unwholesome this show is now?
I'm wearing a SpongeBob shirt. I'm happy.
Well, what do you watch on Netflix?
I'm kind of weird with Netflix. I'm obsessed with Once Upon a Time, the TV show. It's my favorite thing right now. I'm just now getting into the hundreds. I'm trying to watch a little bit of that. I don't know. I kind of just I use Netflix to watch older shows. Like I loved Heroes. I don't know. I've been just watching random older shows for some reason.
Sure.
Trying to catch up because I'm never really big in, even though I'm an actress on TV, whatever, I never really was into watching television shows or anything. I'd rather go hang out with people and versus sitting on my computer. But the last year, I've had nothing to do. So, yeah, Netflix became my best friend.
You're my bestest friend. I know the Asylum did Avengers Grimm, didn't they?
You tell me.
I'm pretty sure that they did, and that's on Netflix. That's the only connection that I have, and that has Casper Van Dien and Lou Ferrigno and some other folks. But you've been doing a lot more work with the Asylum, and so shout out to them, Asylum. Check that out, Avengers Grimm on Netflix.
Asylum.
Now you guys have there's an Asylum panel this weekend.
Yep. I don't know if it's today or it might be today at 7. I should know these things.
Yeah, that's okay.
I just they push me where I need to go and I show up.
Yep.
And I just say, hey, this is happening.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with
It's a good approach to have.
Yeah, a positive attitude. Just go with the flow. My motto in life, just go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Stake it and shake it. I love it. I want to hear more about the painting. What kind of things do you paint? Like that's I see this image of canvases everywhere, and I don't know if we have a bunch of flowers and bananas or like what are you painting?
I'm very childish when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, like, I like poetry. It's very Dr. Seussy.
Okay.
Painting, like, I'd paint a giraffe or a monkey or a robot or, like, a cute, maybe, like, scenery. I'm very, it's like my, I have to get I'm very childish. I need to get it out. So it's like I just use my painting and that to kind of get my child-like self onto something.
So is it very abstract?
Kind
like
of,
if
yeah.
you were to paint a giraffe and somebody saw it, would they be
it's
like,
more of a
it's
cartoon giraffe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not realistic at all. Maybe a little like, oh, that could be kind of weird in a Dr. Seuss kind of way. It's not realistic whatsoever.
And is it only paint or will you draw?
It's paint. I'm not really good at drawing, which is weird. But I'm pretty decent at painting. I use acrylic paint. I'm good with blending, and I don't know. I'm not professional. Never took classes. I kind of teach myself technique, what kind of works. So I probably should take a class. Maybe it'd be a lot better.
I don't know. I think it's a great creative outlet especially for actors and actresses when you kind of get set in this specific kind of way that you have to be, i.e. like as a Power Ranger or whatnot, and you kind of get stuck in that, I'm always a Power Ranger, but then you find a different creative outlet.
Yeah.
You were talking earlier about you really enjoy horror. Very, very different than Power Rangers.
Yep.
I think painting's the same exact way. So classes, I don't know. I don't know if you need classes. If you enjoy it and you like what's coming out, I'm sure that there's other people in this world that would look at it and go, I love that. I want to put that in
and that's
my child's room or whatnot.
Exactly why I started putting it. It's been getting good responses. Everyone's been buying it. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, do your thing. But I think it's a good thing for me for my mind. It's like a blank, just kind of going kind of thing.
That's the one thing that I wish, like I'm not artistic in the drawing or painting realm like at all. Like I could do a stick figure maybe and give it probably the right amount of limbs on a good day. But like I can't, so I'm very envious. Like I go into the conventions, like we're here today, and I go and walk Artist Alley, and I'm just in awe of what these people are just
amazing.
doing. I mean, I see them sketching on the fly, and I'm like, this is amazing. That is an unparalleled talent to me. So yeah, so any type of drawing or painting that can be done is a very cool thing. So
cool. I have such respect for that and music and artists. I'm like, you guys are amazing. Yeah. I wish I can do that.
Well, we got a little bit of time left. I kind of want to see if anybody has any questions. Does anybody have any questions? No? I've got one question that I want to ask here at the end. Favorite breakfast cereal?
Oh my goodness.
Inquiring minds want to know. You
got to choose one. You can't be like, well, when I want to be healthy, it's Grape Nuts, but when I don't care, it's Lucky Charms. You got to pick one. I know.
I'm going to go with peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Oh.
It's a very specific pick.
One
we're getting
supporter
a thumbs up.
for
Yeah, we're getting
peanut
a thumbs
butter
up,
Captain Crunch.
I love peanut butter. If I was allergic to peanut butter, I don't know what I'd do with my life.
It's a strong statement.
No, it's true. I love peanut butter and chocolate, peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and Nutella.
Did you have a peanut butter shake from Steak and Shake?
What did I what?
Did you have a peanut butter shake from Steak and Shake?
I didn't. I was trying to be different, so I got a double chocolate fudge shake.
Okay.
It's also very good.
It was really good, and then I got the jalapeno crunch whatever burger. I went balls to the wall. I went all in.
As well you should. It's
Steak and Shake.
It was shake.
You got to live.
So much shaking this morning.
That's right. When you're in Indianapolis, you got to live. You got to live.
I did. I called my friend. I'm like, guess what I did? Went to Steak and Shake, and I was so stoked.
They were like, did you tip over a cow? No.
No, not yet.
Call me back when
you're done. Way to be a downer.
Well, thank you so much for coming up here and taking some time with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's a good start to my day.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody enjoys themselves, and you're going to be at the Asylum panel. Any other panels are you aware of that you're going to be at?
I'm doing one every day. I'm just trying to think. I think tomorrow I'm doing one on different genres, acting in different genres.
Okay.
And then today is Asylum, and then I think there's another one on Sunday or something. I don't know.
And you also, Ciara has a table. You're right next to Casper, is that right?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
It's like 538 or something like that.
Yeah, they're right there, right on the edge of the blue. If you're looking by carpet, there's all sorts of color carpets out there. Blue is where you guys are at, right on the edge of the blue.
Yep, and look for the yellow shirt.
There you go.
And you can ask Casper about Avengers Grimm.
Ask him about it?
That's from Asylum. I'm connecting you guys right now. I'm making connections you guys can talk. I'm preluding your conversation.
I'm like right next to my best friend, and I never knew it until just now.
Well, amazing. See? And I just told you about it.
Making connections here on Geek Stuff Off the Cuff.
Doing our thing. Anyway, all right, thank you very much. Appreciate you taking some time. Tony?
Yes.
Thank you, my friend.
You too. Choo.
This has been an Amalgam Podcast Network production. Executive producer Jared Wade. For more information, please visit amalgampodcastnetwork.com.